welcome Miss Rochelle with a bouquet of flowers. Miss Bianca will be presenting a bouquet of flowers to Miss Rochelle. So kindly put your hands together to welcome Miss Rochelle.
Miss Shanti said, my name is Rochelle Cordeiro. And for today's workshop, just consider me like your friendly guide. I'll take you through it. And hopefully in this whole program we have a lot of fun. But the idea is to be curious, to explore yourselves, okay? To explore this idea of what you're coming for. Don't come here with a fixed mind that, oh, this is not for me. Somebody's going to come here and just talk about stuff. If that's the case, then we're not doing ourselves justice, right? Come here, keep an open mind, and let's see what we take away from here. And hopefully we have a lot of fun while doing this. So a bit about me. I actually studied in Goa. I did a double major in psychology and economics. And after that, I did my postgraduate studies in Bombay in marketing communication. I worked in different verticals in the health industry in IT as well as in finance. So if anybody has questions for career-related advice, I have put almost 2 decades in different verticals. And then I decided to get back into academics, and now I'm pursuing my master's in psychology. And that brings me right here to do what I couldn't do for me. They say, right, people very horribly say this about teachers, those who can't teach. I disagree now because I realize that it's a full circle. Those who can do, have done, but realize others need help because they didn't get it themselves, come back to teach. So I hope you can get, leave this session by learning just that much, that you can better yourselves with each step you take. So this is all about discovering your superpowers. How many of you believe you have superpowers? Or believe you have any power? You have watched Marvel, DC comics? Yeah, I'm really hard of hearing. Good. So you'll know, all of you know, right? So how many of you believe you have, how many of you feel you have some sort of power? No one. How many of you would want to have some sort of power? So a lot of you who don't want any powers. With power comes great responsibility, right? Fantastic. A lot of you want powers. But do you realize that what you have inside, your own potential, your own skills, is a given power? Does everyone have the same skills in this hall? Exactly. So that makes you unique. That makes you have something that nobody else has out there. The degrees might vary, but all of you have different skills. Okay? And today's day is all about discovering that. If anybody has already discovered all their skill set, fantastic. I mean, good for you. You can come up here and help me in this, right? But if anybody wants to get a further insight or explore what are their skills, then we'll do it together. How about that? Yes. Thank you. So today's objectives are very simple. To help you identify your core values, strengths, and skills. Also to encourage you to self-reflect, to gain self-awareness. And to inspire you, hopefully, even if it is 0.5%, to leverage your strengths and skills in your personal and academic lives. And hopefully, all of this will influence your career. It does for all of us. So as you get older, and hopefully this session helps you even in a small way to get there. Okay, so for the first activity, what I want you to do is think. Now you have got sheets. All of you have got 2 sheets with you. And everyone has 2 sheets. Right. So one of the sheets will be blank. Keep it aside. The sheet that has like a worksheet on it, flip it on the other side, and you can use that paper. You can think of any one symbol. It can be an animal, it can be an object that resonates with you, the values of which resonate with you. For example, I'll go first. I resonate with an owl because the values that the owl has, night, likes to read, often looks very geeky. Well, that resonates with me because the values of learning, lifelong learning, and continuous improvement and intelligence is something that I resonate with the owl. Okay? So to help, I'm sure everybody you buy as a logo. So I want you to think of your own personal symbol that represents your values. Just one symbol is fine. If you can think of more, great, but just one. Any questions? No? Then just put down. You don't have to draw it in case you don't like drawing or not, you don't feel very good at it, that's fine. Just put down what you feel is the animal or object that you resonate with and why. Just 2 or 3 words is fine. Okay? Anyone has questions? Please actually repeat.
Is it a symbol they draw or should they?
No, they can write it. Like I said, owl. If I go to draw an owl, I'll be here for 1 hour. But just the idea, right? Just write the owl, which we all understand what's the symbol of the owl, right? So you can write weighing scale in case you believe in justice and harmony. Okay, you can just write something that, or balance, right? So you can just write the word, which is just one object or animal that you feel represents you. Some people might say lion, tiger, so I'm asking why, right? So somebody who's a good runner, it's okay. It takes time for us to understand who we are. So take your time. Even that's why I said, even if you can write down one word or what describes you, it will help you go forward. Don't worry about it. Nobody's coming to check you. No one is, scoring you for this. This is not going to go on your finals.
And I've chosen a peacock. So there are 2 reasons. Major reason is first that I and the peacock have one very, very common interest, and that's the rains. I love the rains as it does. And second is I find a peacock a very bright, vibrant, and a very positive animal. So like, a bird. Because whenever I love peacocks, and whenever I see them around, I really find them filled with positivity, which also I feel I have a lot in myself. So yeah.
Thank you so much, your name? Kashmi. Thank you so much, Kashmi, for sharing. What she didn't admit, and she was very humble, was that peacocks also look amazing, which she does too, right? So, all in all, see, that's what it does. It helps you to figure out certain things that we love in the world around us, right? Too often we focus on what we are not good at or what we don't have, rather than just focus on something. And if an animal or object can help us, why not, right? So, anyone else?
So the animal that I've chosen is a jaguar. Now a jaguar is a type of cat that is one of the members of the big cat family that can thrive on land, and it also is a great swimmer, so it can hunt in the water as well. This relates to me because I believe that I'm a very versatile person and I can't confine myself to simply one field or one area, which is why when it comes to picking a career, I want to do so much in life. I want to engage in all sorts of activities, so I can't place myself in one box.
Thank you, Kate, for sharing. Well, she chose the jaguar. I don't know if I should be scared of you. I'm a little loud. So, that's fantastic, because what I see is something that, let's admit, a lot of us can't do. Come up on stage and talk in front of even our own peers, right? Yeah, professors are there, but it's our peers that often we are very fearful of, isn't it? So who wants to conquer that fear and come up? Anybody else? Boys? No pressure, but anyone? Alright. Okay, so we'll take it from there, then if nobody else wants to come in. Someone wants to? So the entire objective of this is self-awareness. Very often, we don't know what, our own capabilities, right? Who we are, what we are. And that's the reason why we find it difficult to talk about ourselves, right? So what then can help us? So what really is self-awareness? Have you heard of it? So it's just a word that you have heard, right? Without really understanding. So let's at least understand this. So self-awareness is like having a power, as I mentioned earlier, a superpower, right? To really understand who you are. So what aspects of who you are? Your thoughts, your feelings, your strengths, your skills, your values, and also importantly, how you react to different situations, right? Because these aspects, the reason why we don't know these is because they are often unconscious. They are there, but we're just not aware of them, right? So the idea of today's workshop is to let you stand, realize our potential, realize the strengths that we have, the values that we have. So because tapping into your own potential first requires you to realize the different facets in you, the different potential and the different abilities that you already have. When you become more self-aware, you will be better equipped to handle life's challenges and take advantage of all the opportunities you get. Right now, a lot of you have the opportunity of coming up here and talking. Only 2 of you did. In life and careers, you will get a lot of opportunities. But if you're too fearful of judgment, of whatever reason, of not being good enough, you will be challenged instead of coming up here and grabbing that opportunity. So it's a lifelong journey. They don't expect it that they're going to do this one session and that's it. It's a lifelong journey. We are all, including these, are still on the process, in this journey. And each time as we evolve and grow, we keep learning. So that's it. The most important thing is to find out the different facets of who you are. Not the person sitting next to you, but who you are. So can anybody tell me, now that you know what self-awareness is, can anyone tell me why is it important? Anyone? Have I lost you here? No coffee, no breakfast, come early to class, speaking something you don't understand. Alright, if you interact with me, it will be much more fun. You'll wake up a little. We'll have activities, trust me.
It helps you develop your personality and also it helps you gain emotional intelligence.
Fantastic, actually. So one of them is what you see later. So one of them is making good choices. Very often you'll get chastised for making bad choices, right? But if you're self-aware, you will make good choices. So when you know what's important to you, right? Your values, your beliefs, and what you are good at, that is your strengths, and from your strengths, your skills, you can make better decisions about things like school, your friends, and your future career, which I know a lot of you are very concerned about, as Miss Jagma came up and said, right, that she wants to do so many different things, right? But I hope you don't mind me saying that. For me, that is an epitome of a lot of strength and a lot of, it embodies a lot of basic things that I love. So she has so many things she wants to do, but she wants to explore that. So when you explore who you are, then you will be able, that's one step further towards finding your career. Helps you in understanding your emotions, right? Because when you understand who you are, you understand what your limitations are, what your strengths are. So in a situation in which you're anxious, like before exams, you know that this is going to create anxiety, so you automatically know that you need to use calming techniques to calm yourselves down, right? And as we all know, this is the time to build relationships. So building strong relationships is something once we're more aware, whether it is colleagues, peers, friends, family, friends are, right? They laugh at us in case, and that's the reason why we don't attempt to do anything different, right? Because how many of us don't raise your hands, okay, I'm not asking you to raise your hands, but how many of us internally answer this, are afraid of people's judgment, of people laughing at us? A lot of us, right? So we don't attempt to do these things. I see a lot of smiles over here. So we don't do a lot of things, right? And that's one of the reasons why we are challenged here, because we want to conform, we want to be like our friends. So the desire to fit in, to be accepted by others, prevents us from actually exploring who we are, because if we explore who we are, we may not like who we find who we are. So we don't even attempt to do it. Then different blind spots. Sometimes we are told we are good at something when we are small, we continue believing through our lives that we are good at it. And sometimes because when we are small, we are told we are not good at something, right? Like I was told, I can't stand here and talk. I believed that till I had to do it for work, I wasn't given a choice. And then I realized I can. Maybe I'm not going to be a great orator, but that's fine. Nobody has to be so great as or whatever, but I can be me. And that's enough. And very often we do not want to take feedback, right? How many of us are okay with taking feedback and criticisms? You're okay? Wonderful. I'm sure your teachers are really happy with you, but I, for example, can't, right? It feels very hurtful, don't you agree? It doesn't feel that good. And if you can make it, it's a really good trait to have, a really good skill for future. But many of us find criticism difficult to accept. And that prevents us from learning more about ourselves. Because to learn more about us, we also have to get feedback from others. So how do you, if you wish to learn this now, so how do you develop it? One is to reflect on your actions, the things that you do in a day, right? Think about your day, you know, what makes you happy, what made you sad, what was good, what was bad. Ask for feedback from teachers, from peers, from friends. And identify your strengths and values. And so one part we did with the symbol of understanding the values of that animal or object which we want to embody. And the second one is on your worksheet. So, you know, you don't have to go back home and do it because it might sound difficult. So you can start here. All of you have a worksheet. The opportunity to live happier, to be better connected, and to live more fulfilling lives. So if anybody doesn't want these, I don't know what I can do to help you. But what I can in this sheet, what I'd like you to do is circle the strengths you identify with. There are a list of strengths. So it's very simple, just circle the strengths you identify with the most, that best represent you. And it's not exhaustive by any means. So if you see at the bottom of the sheet there are blank spots, you can write any strength that you think I've missed. Okay. What may also help you is to put a ranking next to the skills or the strengths that you have, chosen or that you identify with. Put a ranking next to it. Like first for the one that you resonate with the most. Okay. Anybody has any questions, just raise your hand. Don't feel shy. So the next activity that we have will help us emphasize the skills we've identified now. And that activity is peer validation. In simpler words, feedback from our friends. So what I'd like you to do, because it's another vital way, right? We talked about it, getting the opinion from others. So please be open to this, right? Because because it's for your good as well as your classmates. You don't realize the impact this makes on you. You might realize by the end of the workshop. So what I would like you to do is form groups of 10 quickly, if you can. Just the ones who are sitting closest to each other, just turn towards each other, just form groups of 10. So now you'll have a blank sheet, right? You'll remember how to make the fan that we had to do when we were little kids. You know? Yep. So good. So fan fold that sheet of paper as quickly as you can. Make sure that you don't make it too broad, just like enough for somebody to write a sentence, right? So make about 10 or 12 folds.
Blank sheet.
The blank sheet, okay? Just make 10 or 12 folds, just the same as you did when you were a little kid. An important role, right? In many ways. And one of them is also to get a deeper understanding of who we are. But we often don't do that. We often tell our friends when we don't like something, but we don't really tell them about good stuff. At least not often enough, right? So this is an opportunity to change that. So what I want you to do, on the top of the sheet, write your names. Somebody goes, you didn't want to write his name also. Come on, I'm sure your names are nice. On the top of the sheet, whichever left or right hand corner, doesn't matter, in the center, whatever you like. But on the top of the sheet, write your name. Once you've done that, I want you to pass the sheet to the person on your right. That you have observed in that person whose name is on the top of the sheet, right? I want you to write a strength that you, something good that you've observed, and let's not keep it to, oh, you have lovely hair. I mean, it's great if you have lovely hair, but let's write about some strength or characteristic that we love, that we admire, that we've seen in this individual whose name is on the top of it. Okay? One. You can write one, you want to write more, it's up to you, but it would be nice if you write one very strong strength that you've seen in this person. But do it well, okay? With your name on it. Anyone who hasn't received the sheet with their name on it? For an interview, your interviewer in the first 1 to 5 minutes decides whether they want to take you on or not. So they've identified your strengths in those first 1 to 5 minutes. So imagine if we understand our strengths, it's so much easier for us to portray them, right? So I'm sure that we know each other for more than 5 minutes, so we can write something. So everyone done? Everyone's got their sheet back now? Alright, put hands up anyone not received it yet? Does anyone want to tell me or unanimously tell me how they feel after reading what their friends said about them? You feel good? Really good? Very good? Do you now feel that you have some understanding of your skills? Does it make you more confident that there are certain things that you see in yourself that matches what your friends tell you? Right? This group is still writing. Wow. Alright. For the rest of you, I'm glad that you have been able to identify that, because that's the whole objective of this workshop, to get feedback from others as well as to identify the skills in ourselves. So, the last thing for the day I want you to do, now that you know your own skills and you've got validation from people around you, I want you to write down a superpower statement. It's a single sentence, okay, that talks about your core strength and any of your values. Just write it down. For example, I've given you an example over there, don't copy that one. But like, I'm a creative thinker who values honesty and collaboration. So you can write any three things, values or strengths that you identify in you based on this activity or based on your knowledge of yourself. So whoever you are, whoever you think of yourself as a creative thinker, problem solver, great communicator, okay, whatever it is that you feel is your core, and what are the values that you uphold the most. I'm not asking you to finish this right now, but if you can, great. But otherwise, reflect on what we did today, okay? And write this down, because this can help you. Can I have everyone's attention? Can I have everyone's attention? Yeah? The reason I'm saying this is because this is your summary, this is your takeaway from this. And it is important because when you go up to introduce yourself, which often we can't do, right? You can do this if you at least know one statement about you. If you're told to introduce yourself in one sentence, how would you do it? You would talk about some strength that you have and values you uphold, right? So, go back, reflect on this if you want to take the time. If you feel you can write it down now, great, because you've got awareness based on this exploration, then fantastic. And it can carry forward in the next session that we do. So, that's it from me for today. Our next session will be on Tuesday, which will have activities based on skills, where we take strengths and we now start talking about skills which are developed from strengths. Okay? So I hope this was educative, informative, explorative. If not, come and meet me afterwards, we can have a discussion further. If somebody feels that they have questions they want to ask, please go right ahead. Or feedback they want to give, whichever works. I'm willing to take both. The floor is now yours. Questions, feedback, any statements. If you want to do this in a one-on-one because you don't want to do it in front of others, that's also fine. I'm here till 1:50 today, your normal class hours, so you can come and meet me. I usually sit in the library for those who see me there. Okay, but we can sit in in the counseling room. The counseling room is comfortable. So we can always go and sit in some place more private. So if anybody wants to come and meet me, based on, when they want to explore their own self further and their own understanding of themselves, just come here and write your name on the top of the sheet, as Shanti just told me that you'll have to get permissions. So just come here, and this is not to avoid class, okay? So class will be more interesting sometimes because this is difficult. Just come here, write your names down on the sheet to whoever wants to come. And your class. This is my first time hosting a workshop for 120 of your age. So I hope I've been able to, address and able to communicate with you because some important words. So I leave that to you. Okay? So thank you very much for your time and your energy.
As we reach the end of today's workshop, I would like to express my greatest appreciation to you, Mrs. Rochelle, for customers.